So our first presentation is on musical notation. The first thing that we will be learning in today's lesson is the staff. The staff, pictured right above me, is the basis of all written music, and it is what all music, notes, rests, and everything is written on. The staff is consisted of 5 lines and 4 spaces. Of this lesson is clefs. So there are 2 clefs that are used in music, one more usually used for women and the other for men. So the treble clef begins with the first line as E, and with each space on the staff succeeds in the musical alphabet. And so a mnemonic device to remember every line note is "Every good boy deserves fudge." So E, G, B, D, F, and then every space is reminded with face. And so with the bass clef, it begins with the first line as G, and then each next space in line is the next letter in the musical alphabet. And the mnemonic devices for the lines are "Good boys deserve fudge always," and "All cows eat grass." This slide helps to show what the treble clef and the bass clef look like. So on the left is the treble clef, and on the right is the bass clef. The treble clef, you can see, starts with the letter E and succeeds its way up, as well as bass starts with G and moves its way up that musical alphabet as well. On to names and durations of notes. So on the left, I comprised a table of each note and what they receive in 4/4 time. So a whole note, pictured up at the top right, is a note that consists of 4 beats in a 4/4 measure. A half note gets 2 beats, a quarter note gets 1 beat, an eighth note gets a half a beat, and then 1/4 beat for a 16th note. So you can see at the top right that a whole note is the largest, getting 4 beats. It can be broken up into 2 half notes, both receiving 2 beats, and then 1 half note can get broken up into 2 quarter notes, 1 quarter note into 2 eighth notes, and 1 eighth note into 2 16th notes. Dotted notes are something that are really important to writing music. So what a dotted note is that it increases a note by its duration by half of its original value. So at the bottom of the slide, I included an example, again in 4/4 time. And so if we have a half note, which receives 2 beats, and we add a dot to it, it then receives 1 for the dot, and the additional 2 that it originally came with to receive 3 whole beats. And rests are very similar, and they parallel sort of directly to notes. So rests are places in music where the musician does not play or sing. And rests all have the equivalent values to notes and their durations. So I paired pictures of notes and rests together. So you can see at the top left you have a whole note, which is matched with the whole rest, a quarter note with a quarter rest, a half note with a half rest, and so on and so forth. A whole note also receiving 4, a half rest receiving 2, and a quarter receiving 1, and so on. So duration of notes is important because it helps the musician to keep count of the total amount of received beats per measure. So knowing how to add beats from notes allows you to learn the amount of time to hold a note while either singing or playing an instrument. So this will be especially useful to understand while participating in tomorrow's class, because we're going to be doing a worksheet on adding notes and seeing how they all pair together. So at the bottom of this slide, I provided an example of a whole note plus a half note, and it totaling out to be 6 beats. So with a whole note equaling 4 beats and a half note equaling 2 beats, you get a total of 6 beats.